Welcome to the Town of Acton Planning Board meeting for November 16th at 6 p.m. We'll all stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chris, we're going to do the signing of those documents first, and maybe just a little quick review, and then jump right into Acton Solar.
All right, first up, we don't have any minutes for tonight, so we'll bypass that. First up will be O'Keefe Storage. Going to come up just for signing paperwork. You wanted just to review what their project is again? Or?
No, it's an approved. They're just, you guys just, if you guys want to review, make sure the conditions that are met that you guys set forth before you sign it, and then so be it, and then send them on their way.
Yeah. Joe Griffin, Civil Works, New England. So we've included the conditions, the waivers as well on the cover sheet and on the site plan sheet. We've got 3 plans here for signature, as well as a site plan for recording with York County. We also provided 2 copies of the lease agreement, and under section 9 of that agreement, that indicates that there will be no overnight storage vehicles on the site. We're just asking for signature this evening.
You have them, Jason, or
I'm sorry, what was that?
want us to sign them
Sign what?
stuff?
Yes, please, sign those things.
Yeah. Can you review, just so we can check the conditions, what the conditions were? I know that was one of them.
All right, there's 2 others, I think.
Hold on a second. Oh, it's not on this, it's my email.
Hi. Just started doing this sign. Storage units.
Up to, yeah, right there. Oh my God, I love this.
Sorry, guys. And so they put everything, that on their plan today for you guys.
You can take it one at a time, however you want.
This one here, so this is the town's copy.
The camera, lights right
This page, and then page 5 as well.
Okay.
So if you guys want to look on the screen right now too. This is what they added, what we emailed to them today, and they were able to stick that in there.
And then we've included that on the cover sheet as well.
voting member?
Just got one going on right
Were you a
now.
voting member for this one?
No, Brian was here. We actually had everybody for that one.
Gotcha.
So it's just
the
three of you
fi-
guys right now?
I don't think so.
But I have to have that conversation with him, if you're willing to do something like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm coming from, because
Yep.
I'd rather have somebody that, because if he's here, he just has to abstain, but you can't vote, I'd rather have somebody, a voting member.
Yep.
We'll just do 3 signatures.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah, that's enough. Right, yeah, she wouldn't say anyway.
Because of Carl.
We've got a copy for ourselves this evening, we'll take that back to the office, we'll scan it electronically and provide it to the town as well, so you can get that electronically.
Thank you. Haven't broken a chair in a couple weeks.
The night, John.
Right?
Don't forget to have yourself.
Wait till December 1st after Thanksgiving, I'll smoke a couple of these beers.
All that turkey meat.
I'm allergic to it.
Turkey? Tryptophan?
Yeah.
How about duck meat? You like that?
Yeah,
There's
Get a ham.
ton of tryptophan in duck meat.
get a ham.
Really? I love duck.
Well, it was too gamey.
Right, you gotta cut it right, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. And this is our copy here.
It feels like I'm buying in like a 1988 Honda Civic.
Oh.
Honda CRX.
Ask this the copy of the site plan that we recorded with York County.
Where is this?
It's almost like buying a home.
Oh, not quite, yeah.
That's what I said, a Honda Civic.
Pull off the side of the wall,
Thank you.
so you can carry on.
Gavin's getting his exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, I need that, yeah.
Thank you very much, we appreciate your support of the project.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your patience, I think it's been at least a couple of years.
Were you here for the boathouse? He was,
He was moving at like 75 feet, right?
not very
Old
far.
business, Kelly Orchards, 82 Sanborn Road, map 234, lot 004, application for site plan review, Acton Solar LLC.
In the future, yeah, in the future, I think that we need to force that, used to be right.
certification that want.
They do. Anybody that. Oops. Whether it's carpentry.
Doing yourself.
Oh, did you put it out?
Printed it out on that.
I see a lot of stuff.
Might as well take that one, get the tax bill.
Oh, it should be the presentation that's dated today.
I did, yeah. It was on the.
Disturbing.
Pretty hefty.
Yeah, rain, it just
Yeah.
goes.
Do you want this comment section on here, or you want it, oh, really?
Or you can just close it out. Yeah, that looks good.
Like, does Jason have like?
I have.
So if you don't remember, my name is Jenna Gilbert. We had a pretty good site walk last week. I think we were just missing one of you,
He
Chris.
drove by.
Yeah, drove by, had to go to, I was working.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we walked to the front of the site, looked at the entrance near the post office. And I had shown off an updated site drawing that had included, you know, reduced clearing limits, different landscape buffering. We swapped out the species for holly and rhododendron. Tree clearing was reduced by about 2.5 acres, so now we're at about 6.9 acres total. And we also increased the farm fence underneath the gap underneath the farm fence to 7 inches. So just to recap, this was our last layout, and this is our updated layout with that reduced clearing there. And we haven't made any other adjustments besides those mentioned. So we can run through the application materials or the memo that Jamel had sent over. My next slide on the decommissioning is pretty much the same, so we can look at that if you have any more questions there. So I believe we've provided everything we've needed to. I wanted to be upfront about the financial capacity. That was something that we had requested as a condition. So that's something you're not gonna see in your application packet.
The good standing memo you included, that was from 2021, was that from the last application?
The good standing memo from the state?
Yeah.
I don't know if that had been updated. That's a good question.
John, what page you on? Or what appendix?
It's in, it says 1 of 2. That's, where are we?
So that was,
D, I think, part of D.
that looks like it was included in an application to the DEP.
Okay, but you referred to it in your write-up as,
Yeah, so did you say it was D? That must have been the stormwater permit by rule application. So that was resubmitted. We may not have reevaluated the good standing there. But that's an easy thing to pull up, so I can do that if you need to, if you need that.
It's amazing.
and then I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about it, but I'd like to have you go through the decommissioning costs. Tell us I'd like to just figure out how they were arrived at. I mean, I get, you've got a total value there, but I'd kind of like to see the math, you know, see the work.
Well, I unfortunately don't have the deep dive into the math more than what's shown there. So I can talk about each cost item.
That was,
No, that was something that was on the disc here.
Okay.
So this was a general calculation done for each 1 megawatt project. So this is a standard value that they had put to a 1 megawatt project. You know, same sort of breakdown. Removal of panels, recycling, and re-stabilizing the site. So that would be included in that estimate there. And making sure that the site is back to previously developed. So I unfortunately don't have a further breakdown than that with me. I know that we provided something similar a couple years ago. I don't think we went into very much detail. I remember in 2021, we had looked at another project's decommissioning and it was pretty similar. I think it was Blue Wave. So we were somewhat using that as a standard for a breakdown.
I think they did theirs, I think it had something to do with, X amount of dollars per megawatt or whatever it was. I can't remember that either, but I feel that's how they did that last one.
Yeah, and that's how we have it written here because we're less than a megawatt DC. That's how they had it calculated out. And so we have a similar breakdown here. And we have the contingency and the legal services estimate in there. Is that something maybe you'd want to see, Jason? Like a further breakdown?
Just had he just was really looking for a breakdown of how you guys came to that number, because if they're not satisfied with a number, they have the ability to seek third-party assistance on this.
Okay.
And so that's kind of why they're looking for a breakdown. How did you come to this conclusion or this amount? You know, they want to make sure that it's not too little of an amount
Yeah.
for a decommissioning. And obviously, they have the ability in 10 years to review it again, but they're just, I think at this date right now, they're wondering how you came to that dollar.
Yeah, understood. I wish I had more to give you all right now. I can talk to my client and see if I can get that breakdown
Okay.
and
Yeah,
bring it
that
for
would be
next time.
helpful.
I can also submit it with that good standing, so you all have a copy before the next meeting too. I can do my best to get that in.
I was wondering, if you could maybe figure out where the panels would go if you had to decommission the thing fairly soon, like.
Fairly
Where
soon.
would they go now?
Well, they're salvaged as much as they can be. So that's actually written out in the decommissioning document as well. So they're put together and only the broken panels will be hauled off for disposal or breakdown. Disposal would be at a landfill because there's no hazardous waste in these products, so they could get taken to a municipal waste landfill or a
Do we, does anybody know where that would be for Acton? How that would work?
Our landfill?
Would they contact with like Casella or something, or some larger operator that has a
Pretty broken down actually pretty well.
landfill, or where would they go? You know?
Yeah.
They don't take them to the active
Labor
transfer
rate,
station.
That's how much it costs right now.
And then that would go from there to Toriano's.
2.5% inflation rate.
I think that's the contract who does that. I mean,
There,
if they're non-hazardous, they're just
I don't
gonna recycle whatever they can out of it
right
and
now that,
Yeah.
I'd want to
dispose of
honest with you.
other stuff, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure they would have a contract with that in place until they're ready to do that work.
I was just thinking the distance of the,
Yeah.
you know, to get rid of the things would play into the cost. when you say they'd be salvaged or how would that work? Do they get taken back to a factory where they're revamped, so to speak, and then redistributed, or?
Yeah, so they would be taken to a recycling facility where they could be salvaged or back to the supplier, the manufacturer, where they could be recycled that way. Those would be the two options if they weren't being disposed of at a facility. Because the first goal would be to, get what's valuable out of those. So they would recycle them, sell them back.
Do you know where recycling facilities for those sort of things are? Or?
I personally don't.
Yeah.
Ship to China.
It's hard to know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be a short trip or a long trip.
Right.
Well, hopefully a breakdown will give us some indication. for the
Yeah, how
breakdown.
far away, where is the company that manufactures them based,
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think they go into that much detail with this estimate.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering about the, cost of fuel and the distances. The labor involved in driving and distances and that sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think they've gone into too much detail because it's pretty general at this point.
Yeah.
But is that $50 general labor rate kind of, is it taking kind of all of those things into account with respect to time and?
That's not theirs. That was a handout that Adam had, that was a sheet that Adam had
Okay,
presented to me earlier, and I was gonna provide to you guys to look
okay.
at. If you wanna see what they're looking at, Jenna, this was just, and I understand it's from 2018, it was more of a breakdown, and that's kinda where why they're
see.
looking at this right now.
Yeah, and you can see that this is for a 5 megawatt system too.
Right.
And you're at a 1?
Or
Under.
less than 1, so. Depending on the AC or DC, this breakdown in our decommissioning document is 0.87, but I've been pointing out that we're a 0.6 megawatt AC. So they're similar, but they're not the same. But that's over 5 times larger.
Sure. But it would be helpful, I mean, even before I saw that memo, that's, when I was going through this, it would be helpful to see kind of what it's based on. You say potentially it could take 6 to 8 weeks of work. That, to me, gets the meter running even more, if it's gonna go that long. So it'll just be helpful to get some breakdown on what goes into it. It's less than 20% of that town's estimate, so it's not that far off if you just do the math.
Your stormwater permit by rule narrative says it's proposing a 2.75 megawatt AC ground-mounted photovoltaic solar installation off of Sanborn Road.
So that might be the 2021 application, because that was our previous size before we
Oh, it does say April
reduced.
2021.
Yeah.
On the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Maybe I should get it up to date here.
That might be in our application too, because we did provide both.
Yeah. Oh, decommissioning 0.6 megawatt.
If my client can't pull together a breakdown, would we be interested in doing that as a condition for, say, the code enforcement officer to review in more detail?
I would think they'd be able to pull together a breakdown.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
Their business,
Yeah.
I don't know how many of these things they've decommissioned already, because it's.
Yeah, they're fairly new, but you're right.
But,
In an emergency, they must have at least.
yeah. Or even just had to take it down because the site conditions changed or something. Not the longevity of the thing. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can ask Jeremy Chapman is the leaser. I can ask him if he can provide that.
So North Star recommend that we do it, kind of go through conditional use for the,
So in our ordinance, it's the going 50 feet into the other's district is a conditional use. So you kind of said you can roll it all into one where it's the same project, but that's how the board wants
we're still
to.
gonna read through the conditions for conditional use for
Yeah,
that aspect.
You have, it's, because it
Yeah.
is a conditional use permit that you're
Yeah.
allowing for that.
Yeah,
For a fence. We're doing a conditional use for a fence.
No, the.
The fence is
No, the
beyond
fence is,
50, right?
yeah, the fence is, they got panels inside that
that's one
50
of the
feet.
things we need.
No, they don't. It's clear. The panels are in the, right? The panels are in
No,
the,
there's some panels in the 50.
No, so when I spoke with Jason, we looked at keeping the solar use within that 50-foot. Because beyond that 50-foot, we're in the village use district. So that's our 50-foot variance outside of the commercial A district.
Yeah, whether it was just a fence and the vegetated buffer, I said that, go ahead and put it there and hopefully the board will understand. Because the amount, we had shrunken the field.
Right, because we could ask
Yeah.
them to put the fence on the 50-foot line,
But
but,
I was more concerned with having all the panels inside the required area.
yeah. It's kind of up to the
Yeah,
discretion of the board on that.
Maine
Yeah.
doesn't have a recycling plant for solar panels.
I wouldn't think so, I mean, solar's fairly new in Maine
was-
compared to the
As of
rest of the.
6 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure they'd have to truck them pretty far, but I don't know.
so there are no solar panels outside of the commercial district.
They're encroaching 50 feet into the village district because you're allowed to go 50 feet into the
Okay.
more restrictive, and that's it.
This line. right
Yeah,
here,
that dotted, the two dotted lines,
That's the village district.
Right. The 50-foot.
So it comes in
Okay,
50
all right.
feet into the
So-
other district.
Didn't sound like you said that a minute ago, but okay. Because I thought we were doing this just for the fence, which to me would be ridiculous.
no, it's the,
Well, I mean, you could view the fence as an integral part of the project and,
Oh, yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna argue. I
Yeah.
just, it's,
right,
I have a natural aversion to stupid bureaucracy. But
yeah.
we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, it's page 11, division of lots by district boundaries. Says where a zoning district boundary line other than a boundary line of the Resource Protection District, Little Ossipee River District, or Shoreland District divides a lot or parcel of land of the same ownership of record at the time such line is established by adoption or amendment of this ordinance, the regulations applicable to the less restricted portion of the lot may be extended no more than 50 feet into the more restricted portion of the lot. Extension of use shall be considered a conditional use, subject to approval of the planning board and in accordance with the criteria set forth in section 6.6.3. And I was thinking we could go through the 6.6.3 tonight, get that done, you know, do it after the hearing.
Yeah, I think, we can determine it, the application complete, right?
I think so, unless anybody's, it's complete, yes. Yeah, we still might be talking about the details, but it's,
Yeah.
I think it's complete.
I think it's complete, so then we can certainly do the finding of facts on that conditional use tonight. And then we need to set the, public hearing, right?
yeah, we'd like to do that tonight, because we have we have like 3 weeks before the next meeting, so I'll give plenty of time to have, the abutters list, letters to go out. Yeah, on North Star thing too, he also has on page 6, he does do a review of the conditional findings of facts. If you want to do, I don't know if you guys had a chance to review all those already.
Right, this would just be for the, we're talking about just the 50
Yep,
feet.
that's just the
right there.
50 feet. Yeah.
And then we could decide if we wanted to do site, go through the site plan review. So, yeah.
Want to read through them for the record?
Yeah,
I think it's all the way down here.
you wanna read them and I'll answer them or vice
Okay.
versa? Okay.
Okay, this is from 6634. The standards have been reviewed and found that, A, the use will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, or other wildlife habitat.
Yes, it's very much.
The use will, if anybody objects, go. The use will conserve shore cover and visual as well as actual access to water bodies.
NA, I don't think there's a water body that we're,
I'd say that's NA. The use is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
yes.
Traffic access to the site meets the standards contained in this ordinance. Traffic congestion has been addressed in accordance with performance standards in this ordinance.
That's kind of a funny one, 'cause it's almost like NA for the 50 feet.
He just has, oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? So we're not discussing the traffic for the whole project right now, we're just talking about the 50 feet, so I'd say yes.
E, the site design is in conformance with all municipal flood hazard protection regulations.
Yes, we're not in a flood zone.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
Adequate provision for the disposal of all wastewater and solid waste has been made. Discharging, so
It's
it's
kind of a,
NA too.
unless we consider the, yeah, it's hard to know which one of the F or G would be referred, yeah,
For the decommissioning?
yeah, but I'd say yes.
I'd say yes also, because there's something that they put in the plan specifically that they're gonna do a final site walk to take out any, trash or whatever that pops up, so.
G is the adequate provision for transportation, storage, disposal of any hazardous materials has been made.
And they still contest there's nothing hazardous in these things.
All right, but you read on them, and,
That's funny, you get
It's
conflicting
quirky.
information, but,
yeah.
well, there's different manufacturers, different products.
yeah,
You can't
right,
judge a book by its cover.
apples and oranges.
Very smart, you learned that one.
Jason's right.
So NA then, because they don't have any.
We don't know, really.
Well,
Where are you? H?
G.
G.
Gee,
I mean, it all comes down to that word hazardous, and there's really like the list of hazardous things and that one is the thing.
There are no hazardous materials in the
Yeah,
products.
I thought I just read something in the original application too that said something to the effect of no, like, there's no hazardous material kind of thing in the application itself.
That's NA.
Let's say NA.
H, a stormwater drainage system capable of handling a 25-year storm without adverse impact on adjacent properties has been designed.
You guys have a stormwater plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a stormwater section that's outlined. Our stormwater permit with the DEP also acts as that,
Right.
that ticket as well.
So,
Oh, yeah, there it is, stormwater management. Yeah.
And the site is fairly flat, it's gonna be vegetated.
Yeah, and
Well, the riskiest time is during construction, as soon as it's revegetated.
Yep.
it's pretty-
exactly, yeah, and we'll have the erosion control as shown on the plans as well.
which leads into I, adequate provisions to control soil erosion and sedimentation have been made.
Yes,
Yep. There is adequate water to meet the demands of the proposed use and for fire protection purposes. Not gonna have water.
I guess NA or yes, I mean, there's water on the site, but Art's got that pond right there that.
Yeah, the one right in this road, and then there's one right
On
here.
Sanborn Road. And there's water right there.
And you got one at the tennis courts too.
Yeah, yeah.
Another dry hydrant over there.
I would say yes.
Okay. The provision for buffer strips and on-site landscaping provide adequate protection to neighboring properties from detrimental features of the development, such as noise, glare, fumes, dust, odor, and the like.
It was pointed out in the sidewalk that they were facing the other way, away from the road.
Yeah.
And there's plantings all around the 50-foot strip, it looks like.
Right, they're adding plantings.
Yeah.
I think that's yes.
Yeah.
All performance standards in this ordinance applicable to the proposed use will be met.
Yes.
Archaeological historic resources as designated in the comprehensive plan will be protected. Yes, you have a com from the state on that, right?
Yeah, we do. We have reviews from the Maine Historical Decommissioning, or excuse me, Maine Historical Preservation Commission. They didn't require archaeological study or any further studies.
So then, the conditional use public hearing can be the same public hearing?
Yes. Yeah, I don't see anything different. There's no need for doing that, yeah. I would just,
All right, so I think we just have to make that apparent
At the public hearing.
at the
we have-
public hearing.
Yeah, we have to mention this process.
there's this too, Dave.
50 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the beginning of the hearing.
Did you hear that, Jenna? At the beginning of the hearing, when you described the project, you could say, since we extend that 50 feet, we had to get a conditional use.
Sure, I can explain that.
We got the name of the owner sorted out, right?
Yeah.
At the site walk, Art Kelly mentioned something.
Yeah, they changed it.
Cool, yeah, good.
Did you want to go over the site plan while we're here? If we just go through I mean, it's all in here, in North Stars too, if you want to just look at that. And then on page 9, they actually go through it and what they feel their conclusion of law is. But it's up to the board.
I think,
Want to wait?
well, no, I think we could do the findings of fact and then do the, what is it, the law, findings of law after the town hall,
The town meeting, a public hearing?
the public hearing, yeah. Because that would be the last thing to do.
Pretty much.
So, go through site plan review.
Yeah.
So applicability, I mean, it's, number one would apply construction or placement of new building or structure. Number four, establishment of a new use. So it's definitely applicability is there. I think we have to read through the whole thing.
I think we can run down by paragraph, right? Utilization.
So you're going back to the book for what they've already done, or?
Well, that's their recommendation. I think we need to do our own findings of facts. And then,
Yeah, it's nicer to just kind of read through it ourselves than just read what North Star put. I think. It's good to confer with it, but. Well, John's got the pink one.
the pink one in
It's got, it's a little bit more truncated with the ordinance.
I can run through it.
Good, narrate it tonight. Like James Earl Jones, please.
You gotta get a fund going for Christmas presents for John here.
All right, so we'll do the findings of facts for the solar project. The first, and it really starts at 6641, is applicability of the site plan review. And as Gavin just said, I think it does certainly qualify for site plan review.
thanks.
Certainly under the conversion of existing use.
Submission requirements.
We've got the proposed site, location, size, the proposed use. We've got the existing regulations and applicability to the project, and they didn't request any waivers. Here we go, okay. So again, just to make sure it's complete, we've got the abutters. Have you talked to the fire department yet? I know we talked about a box on the gate.
Yes, we've talked about the Knox box on the entrance. We haven't had a recent conversation with the fire department. We've reviewed the access of a fire truck into the site,
Yep.
and that would be possible.
Owner's name, address, abutters, sketch map, boundaries, tax map and lot number, deed, the lease option, surveyor, evidence of technical and financial capability. Financial, we may make a condition. We got all the existing conditions and what is proposed to be done. And now the findings of fact, the utilization of the site. The natural capabilities of the site to support development are noted on the plan, and appropriate measures for protecting these resources are included. Environmentally sensitive areas, wetlands, steep slopes, no floodplains, no significant wildlife habitats, no fisheries, scenic areas. Habitat for rare endangered plants and animals, the state said none, right?
Yep, correct.
No aquifers, unique natural communities, no natural drainage areas. It is naturally drained.
I think the last time we talked about that little wetland right on the right-hand side,
Yep. Yeah, so that's within the clearing limits.
that where we could, put a condition that, no vehicles drove through that area, that harvesting was completed. with
Right.
Booms.
Yeah, so hand equipment in there, or we could drive in over timber matting. Timber matting is a typical detail that we had included in the plans too, so that would end up carrying over into the construction documents as a detail for them to use.
Yeah, some, just, no soil disturbance in that area.
Right, none planned.
Yeah.
None planned, since we're not removing the stumps.
No rutting or.
No, that wouldn't be planned either. No.
Somehow integrated.
Is that noted on the plan? I know it's,
That's a good question.
I know you say the stumps will stay.
Jason, do you mind if we open up the plan set? It's in that folder.
It's in, what folder?
It's in that USB. So that'd be the SS right there, yeah. So I think that's our note right there. I'm sorry, I can't read it. Utilize timber matting under equipment to minimize ground disturbance during tree cutting in wetland area.
That's the current plan.
Yep.
Yes. And then protect trees in wetland area that are not within clearing limits.
Yeah. All right, very good, thank you.
Adequacy of road system, adequate capacity to accommodate additional traffic generated.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so.
Okay, access onto the site. Vehicle access is safe and convenient.
I think it is, yeah.
Driveway is designed to the current Town of Acton subdivision standards.
Yes, so I've confirmed with Jason, we have a slope at the minimum percent. So it's less than the 3 or 4% that the subdivision ordinance requires for entrance.
20 feet wide and 2 feet of gravel and all that, right?
It's not 20 feet wide, it's, this would have it.
They need 20 feet, but that's what the subdivision says it.
I can't really scroll around. 15 feet wide gravel access road.
Maybe we can, okay.
Yep. And during construction, we have our widened access for larger vehicles.
For turning.
For turning, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, what do we do there?
And this is,
Seek a waiver on that?
What was that?
They want to use a 15-foot entrance, and the ordinance tells us they need to use the the town of Acton subdivision standards, which calls for 20 foot.
But this isn't a subdivision.
I would think this was,
Deal right now.
I would think this would be compared to a typical driveway. It's a short run, that's not even a private roadway. It would be considered a driveway entrance.
Oh, okay, all right, so any driveway or proposed street, so a street would have to be 20, maybe a driveway doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I would think that's probably right.
Hopefully that's right, then we don't have to monkey with it.
I can't see. How wide is the extended?
The extension here,
Yeah, how wide is that?
I don't know exactly. It looks like almost double or
Yeah, it looks
more.
double. Like,
So-
I'm just eyeballing.
So 40, 30 to 40.
By extension, what does that mean? What is that material? Is that gonna be the?
So that is our type D gravel. Our driveway is gonna have type D underlain by type A. So we typically just use type D in our temporary gravel. And that is removed prior to the end of construction, and then it's loamed and seeded and restabilized like any other part of the project would be.
I think the out, Gavin, is they don't have the 100 passenger vehicle equivalent trips.
6.6.4.7 for just access ways must meet the following standards. Private entrances, exits must be located at least 50 feet from the closest unsignalized intersection and 150 feet from the closest signalized intersection, as measured from point of tangency to the corner to the point of tangency, the access way. Private access ways in or out of the development must be separated by a minimum of 75 feet where possible. And that's the only standards that it gives you for entering and exiting a project.
Yeah, and we're about 250 feet from that nearest major intersection.
North Star didn't say anything about that.
They had the out because it's less than 100.
The new 15-foot access road is approximately 250 feet from San Page Road, Route 109 intersection. Location of the new access road exceeds spacing requirements from existing entrances and intersections. That's
Okay, all right.
access into the site, vehicular access to the site is from a new gravel access road from San Page Road. The proposed gravel access drive has been designed to meet the town's subdivision standards.
All right, all right.
What about the Harbor Road? Does that count?
Still pretty far from that intersection too, isn't it?
Okay. So move on to 4, access way, location and spacing.
Yeah. Jason was just reading pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's the next one down.
Yeah.
It exceeds the spacing requirements, so that's good. Vehicle circulation,
They said these WB-40 vehicles, they said the thing could pull in and just back out, is that?
It can turn around based on the
okay.
temporary gravel that we have shown in there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, for construction, but then after construction,
Oops, sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, so we've reduced the amount of impervious gravel area after construction.
and you're not gonna really have large vehicles in there for maintenance.
Nope.
You all
No, it would be like a landscape truck, somebody that can mow the site, trim the landscape shrubs.
so there is no parking layout and design, you know, parking.
No, maintenance is so minimal that there's, very little need after construction.
No pedestrians.
Nope,
Not open to
that
the
should
public?
be, yep. That should be self-explanatory too. Yeah, no access here.
Yep.
He'll be
Storm-
locked.
Stormwater management,
Was approved on October 25th, 2023.
Yep, that was resubmitted to the DP.
yep, okay. Erosion control,
That's also included in the DEP review, but we have those erosion control plans and details in the project set too.
right. Water supply, not required, applicable. Sewage, not applicable. Utilities,
So we have overhead and underground utilities
Yeah.
to the equipment pad and the on-site equipment.
6, is it 6 or 7 poles, utility poles?
6.
We have 6 shown.
I saw 7. Natural features. Landscape is preserved insofar as practical. Extensive grading and filling is avoided. Stumps will stay in the wetland. Reduce the amount of clearing, and there won't be any extensive grading or filling. Okay,
Yep.
groundwater protection. Not gonna impact. Water quality protection. It's not gonna impact.
Can we get do we have a written list of ingredients in these things?
Ingredients. Well, the material that could come out of the modules, you know, if they broke, it's silicon based.
Yeah.
You know, that's outlined in the decommissioning plan. It talks a little bit about the metals in the product as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
It's mostly metal and treated glass. So copper, aluminum, galvanized steel.
the galvanized.
Yeah, so
Zinc and nickel, or,
I don't know that much detail about
Yeah.
that, to be honest.
yeah. Can we get more detail, or?
I don't know. You know, it's possible. I don't know if we need to go into that much detail.
Well, we're just worried about metals getting into the soil and then, you know, being residual there and,
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I've seen other, you know, towns require, you know, groundwater monitoring, but there's been no issues from these types of facilities. You know, they find that there's no issue. There's no aquifer in this area. You know, there's no like low groundwater that would be impacting or even touching the piles themselves, you know, at their 5 foot depth.
Oh, copper, aluminum, galvanized steel.
have you, had any towns just, require like a soil test at the beginning of the project and a soil test after 10 years to check for these things accumulating?
No, I've never seen that before, you know. I mean, these, you know, galvanized posts are the same as, you know, a fence post, you know, that's installed in the ground, you know, anywhere else. So I haven't seen anything to that degree.
Yeah. I mean, there will be a fair number of them, there'll be a fair amount of exposed metal that's gonna be galvanized, right?
Well, right, usually they're coated, so they are not corrosive. So they're not corroding.
Is the concern like if, you know, one of these solar panels gets whacked and broken and and what spills, everything spills on the ground.
Well, my concern is metals, and I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no, I know that, but is it the,
Well, I
is
mean,
it
I'm
the
trying to go
post?
down both routes at once.
No, I hear ya.
I'm not sure.
My concern would be if it broke and what's going.
That's
into
my,
the ground.
that's actually my concern too.
If
Yeah,
it's silicone
sure,
based,
that's a concern.
Is
but-
that,
it
I like the
doesn't
soil test.
being
idea.
something from
Yeah.
CMP,
Yeah.
and,
We can
that's
avoid
highly
that.
toxic.
Something similar to a PFAS and fiasco.
There's-
That's what I
That'd be
was-
It's a
awesome.
byproduct of
That's what I was wondering, sometimes. these
crystalline
things are coated with-
silicone.
And sometimes you don't know what you
Saying
don't
it's
know
highly
unless you,
toxic.
you know.
This was
in-
printed up
for the future.
6 days
So.
ago from CMP.
6 days ago. Well, I know I've seen them broken before. I've seen nothing come out of them actually, but I think that they're required to say, you know, what material is inside of them.
Could you get that for us for the next meeting? Or try
Well,
to-
I can see what I can do. I know that they, you know, call out silicon base, and I've been told that in the past.
Cause I don't wanna eat an apple from there and like a month later be glowing, you know?
Well, it's funny that you say that, but the drainage too, it doesn't even drain back into his orchard. So,
But it's in the soil, and if the soil gets dry, it dusts up, and then it floats to the thing.
that hasn't
non-organic
been an
versus
issue
organic.
for the arrays that have been installed in the state. I can see what Jeremy can grab for module details
Yeah, that would
and
be
components.
helpful, if you could,
Yeah,
please.
maybe, consider I mean, soil testing's fairly cheap, so wouldn't be a hindrance to get a background for some of the, you know, contaminants we're worried about, what's there existing, and then, you know, 10 years down the line, are these things, are they leaching anything?
I would argue no.
Sure, no, absolutely, and I think that's the general viewpoint right now, but when you look at things like the forever chemicals, the PFAS, and the, you know, at first we think these things are fine, and then we find out later, so it's, you know, that's kind of the way history repeats itself. So, I don't know. I would definitely be interested in a list of metals in these things, and then some way to monitor, you know, the decay of the panels too, like what happens.
No, well, the modules themselves are enclosed.
Yeah,
So if they were to be broken, that would be the only way that they would, you know, degrade in any rapid fashion like that.
that's kind of why.
And then that's the other thing is, you know, they're being monitored, so they're being monitored and maintained, so they would be removed and replaced or however they need to at the time.
Right. Yeah, understandable.
So monitored and maintained, and if anything, and replaced, and if any of them were found to be broken, that goes into the disposal plan.
It would,
Right?
yeah.
And so they would be removed in some form or fashion.
Yeah, so they want this facility to be profitable.
Yeah, of course.
And if that's, if there's something broken, they'll have to replace it as soon as they can.
Replace it as soon as they can. I think part of that contingency, if it was a result, if it was just general, you know, decay of the system, like, cause, you know, my iPhone goes out on the fritz, after 6 months or so, you know, that's natural, but if it's the result of something, outside, like a, you know, whatever, storm, giant rogue UFO hits it or something like that and it breaks apart, if it's the result of some kind of action like that, where, you know, it's impacted or something like that, could we get some type of like warm fuzzy, like, okay, can you test the soil to make sure nothing that's spilled out, like, harmed the surrounding area in some form or fashion,
Right,
you know?
right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, yeah,
I
so.
know it's a little bit, it seems like a bit of a far-fetched, type of scenario, but the things you don't plan for are the things that might happen, so.
What ifs?
Well, I think the contention is no hazardous stuff, right? So if, you can provide something that demonstrates there's no hazardous stuff, if it broke open, that it isn't hazardous, then then we're
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
But if not,
Giving
absolutely,
a list of ingredients of what's in them.
yeah.
That way we know.
The list of what's
Yeah,
in
John's
it
right.
is hazardous too, and then you're surprised.
Yeah, I just read like that thing quickly and it's listing every type of metal and silicone.
And I mean, if this was listed out in the solar ordinance, we would have been happy to provide that before. I don't know, have other solar farms had to require that level of detail for their product?
Well, there's only one other one in Acton I know of, and we didn't ask them to do soil testing, but it was something that I did think of after the fact, and.
Well, do your best to see if you can get a parts breakdown, and then we can move on.
Yeah, it's a little more information.
Yeah.
Appreciated.
Yeah, we'll do our best to see what we can pull together, and we'll have it by the next meeting.
Okay, and again, the contention is there isn't anything hazardous there, but we'll see what is provided. 17 is the shoreline relationship, and it's not within shoreline zones.
Yeah.
18 is the technical and financial capacity.
That's the thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, they have a, good standing printout, which was done, it looked like from the original.
Yeah, we'll get that one updated.
Just get that one updated, yeah. Solid waste disposal is next. It's not gonna generate solid waste. Historic and archaeological resources, the state looked at it and concluded there's no historic archaeological properties affected by the solar array.
Something you worked with. Historic.
Floodplain management, it's not in the floodplain.
Right.
Fire protection, there's no buildings, but they'll provide the code to the fire department.
Any instance of fire with these things is really low, correct?
Yeah, that is low.
Yeah.
And they'll have full access at any time.
Yeah.
So that's the findings of fact, subject to seeing some ingredients.
Yeah. Say there was like a grass fire went through the array, would it damage the array particularly?
It could. In that instance, it would have to be put out as a wildfire. So
And people just come and evaluate the array to see the damage and go from there.
yeah, to be honest, I haven't heard, the aftermath of any sort of natural disaster like that. But that's how I imagine it would be because, these arrays are run by, businesses that, have lots of employees. So they would come out to inspect and do, any sort of standard review and bring along, their interns or people to, get that experience.
Yeah.
You want to establish the hearing, public
Sure.
hearing?
December 7th?
I think Jason said 3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, December 7th.
6 o'clock?
That makes sense.
Pearl Harbor, huh?
What?
Pearl Harbor, huh?
Yeah.
Veterans Day in Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yeah, is that a holiday?
No,
you guys celebrate.
What time?
6?
6, it'll probably be the first thing.
Okay.
There aren't any new holidays in between now and December.
gonna ask if that was everything for tonight.
You brought that up one other time, right?
Well, we talked about it the last time we went through this process.
Yeah, if there were birds of concern, the Maine Fish and Wildlife would have identified those as an essential or an endangered habitat, which there were none identified.
There's never any birds in there.
I've seen one of the trees.
And these panels move, right?
No.
Yes, these ones are
These,
tracking.
they do. Yeah, they rotate. Yep. Yeah, this is the tracking system.
You're doing that
So
just
it's smaller.
because it's failed, it's shrunken, it's smaller, you're doing it to,
You know, I don't know their reasoning behind it. The tracking has been tested in the state, and it's been a successful array system in Maine, so that's why they want to do it here. It's getting more popular. I don't know the advantages. It seems like it would produce better as an advantage. You know, it's moving to the best spot every minute, every 60 seconds. So.
Seems like that would be more efficient probably with the way the sun moves up here, but. All right, anything else?
You have anything, Adam? All right, we'll see you on December 7th.
Excellent, thank you.
did you guys make a motion for the public hearing?
Oh,
Do we need a motion?
So I'll make a motion, we hold a public hearing for Kelly Orchards, 82 San Juan Road, site plan review for Acton Solar on December 7th at 6 PM.
Second?
All in favor? All opposed?
Thanks again, have a great night.
Thank you.
So if you Google, Deep Blue 3.0 solar panels, that's what's in this book.
Yeah.
They just go on and talk about silicone wafers. The old ones were boron or something like that, but these ones are not. But they have, it kind of talks about what they're made up of. I just pulled it up at the last minute, so.
Does it say where they're made?
Is it silicone tetrachloride? Does it say that?
Incorporates more advanced 182 millimeter gallium doped silicone wafers.
What's in the wafer though?
Who cares?
Well, there's a lot.
There is, well, I do, because the byproduct of producing crystalline silicone is highly
So you already
toxic.
eat enough lead, who cares?
Yeah, but I don't wanna glow when I eat an apple. No. What is Dave? He already glows enough.
I don't eat apples.
We can
Well, I
tell.
have been hearing a lot about just different electrical products from China, how they put there's more lead solder in there than.
Well, and that's the other thing I've read.
Jason,
that-
what's that site? What are you
A
looking
lot of
at?
electronics contain lead.
What's it?
Well, and I also read that.
I just Googled,
They do drip lead into the soil.
Well, I mean,
so there's a page on here
connecting everything.
and, that shows like almost like a flyer.
Yeah, yep.
Deep Blue 3. I just
Okay.
Googled Deep Blue 3.0. And it just talks about kind of what it is and,
Saying it isn't.
but I don't,
excuse me.
all right. You guys ready to move on?
Sure. All right, new business, Mike Albert's son, 1152 West Shore Drive, map 123, lot 018, application for greatest practical extent.
You don't have to, Jenny, you can take off, you don't have to stick around. Don't want to bore you with this stuff, these guys.
Have a good night.
Take it easy.
See ya. Should get out if it's locked.
Yeah. That's it, Mr. Matthews, take it away.
Yeah, looking to tear down, rebuild, for the Albertsons. You can see on the existing survey, we're 25 feet to the power lines. Looking to come back to the 15 feet, which is the setback off CMP, which I now know, and go from 37 feet to the high water to 47 feet to the high water.
So the deck is disappearing.
I don't know if the deck's disappearing or not, but
There's a deck shown that's, looking on this map that shows 37, there's a deck there that's within 37 feet, and then
yeah.
on the existing, and then on the proposed, the 47 line runs over the deck.
Yeah, when I met with Jay to go over what was been approved, that wasn't on there, so I went for the house number, not the 27 of the deck, so.
Yeah,
They can put a deck on, I don't know what they're gonna do when they rebuild, but the setback would be the 47.
Right.
Which would be any
That's the
structure.
number you're looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm not going by the deck on that existing because apparently it's not legal.
yeah, oh, okay. When did they put it on?
No idea, we just couldn't find it on the card, so I didn't use it.
Oh, you didn't use it as part of the 30% calculation?
30% calculations, didn't use it on my setback, didn't use it on anything.
Yeah.
Pretended it wasn't there.
Okay.
Are these guys going for a seasonal conversion, or is this,
I mean, if they can, yeah, I didn't even check to see, I didn't look into that. Is it seasonal right now?
I'm assuming it probably would be, I'd have to look on the septic design, but it's a good time for them to do it if they have the lot size to do it. Oh, it is year round.
Yeah.
That's what the new plan is for.
Okay. Good call.
So the variance request for the septic is based on the, is there only 90 cars in the lake instead of 100? What's the basis?
Setback from the well, there's a variance for the well water, for the well, setback to the lake and property line.
6 feet to the neighbor's wall.
Yeah, and they're allowed to do that because the old well is the same, I guess, so.
Are you moving the septic? Putting in a new septic? or-
Putting in a new septic, yeah.
What's the lot coverage gonna be with the new, house? Calculations appear to use the old house, square footage.
Lot coverage will be under 20%.
Yeah, but what's it gonna be with, I see it's under 20% now.
Yeah, the new will be under 20.
What's the square footage of the new house?
Oh, I don't design a house until I get your guys' approval and I know what my building envelope is,
Well, how do you know it's gonna be below 20%?
because it has to be.
Well, I know, but you're showing me something here that is the existing condition.
Right.
And we wanna see that the new one is gonna be under 20%.
I have to, or you won't allow me to do it. It's code. There's no way I can do it, right?
Right.
Well, you'd have to figure it out either way, so
Right.
you might as well give us the numbers, I guess. The driveway's gonna pretty much stay the same.
A bunch of that pavement will come out. Probably 2/3 of that pavement will come out.
Yeah. Well, that'll help.
Yeah, it'll probably be less than the existing lot coverage, to be honest with you, but a lot of pavement coming out. No trees to be removed with this one, Tyler, when you go backwards.
So he's gonna extend.
It's mostly going, well, half onto the driveway, as it's.
Yeah.
Under
It's just one of my questions on my sheet. When it's moving back, it'll be onto some of the driveway?
Yeah.
Is that yeah. Coming back in that same line, the 10 feet. But
It's not.
like I said, it's probably where you can see the 100-foot setback. See the 100-foot setback line?
Yeah.
I would say at least there forward, all that pavement's gonna go, maybe even more.
The total lot,
Right,
right?
but he's doing 30% expansion and he's,
So a lot of pavement will be gone there.
This is current.
this is the current,
This is the
yes.
current. Total lot is 19,000.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Does it have any kind of a septic system on it?
It has an existing septic, but we're putting a brand new one in.
Okay. I just noticed on the application, it just said first-time system, and then in the next block, it said replacement system. And I'm looking on the design, and I just see it,
See what, the new or the old?
the old.
I have a plan for the old if you wanna see it.
Yeah, I'm just curious about what these places have, just kind of take an inventory of, you know, what's around the lake. Thank you.
full chamber system in the driveway.
No, I'm just playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
This one here. Is that the total square footage you want?
Yeah, that's anything that was gonna go
And then anything new can't go beyond 20%.
20%.
Right, yeah, okay, so your number is 3,920. That's the number. In terms of square footage. That's 20%, so from, unless my math is off, from 3302 up to 3920, if it can go up to 20% of the lot coverage. So it can go up to 3,920 from 3,302.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, it's just 20% of 19,602.
John, how the numbers looking? I see you over there crunching them.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Not the only one that can do math here, right?
Yeah, but we like your math. What is that?
Hey Tyler, do you have a measurement for what this is gonna be to the road after it's all said and done?
No, over 50 though.
Okay, that's all I need to share.
Gonna go there.
What are you looking for, Pat?
I'm all set.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if
Sorry,
you
I didn't know you were waiting for me while I was.
No, I just wasn't sure what you were.
No, I'm just curious, you know, all of
It's in
the
the ground?
systems that are around the lakes, I'm just curious what's there and then what's being upgraded. This was an '01 system and, it was 20 chambers? And it's being reduced to 10, is that correct?
He's also going into an injector pump, with
Yeah.
effluent pump and everything,
Yeah,
so.
it's just
shrinks
interesting to
everything.
me. Glad to see it.
trench numbers now,
What?
these trenching numbers.
Trying to make sure I'm wrapping my mind around it.
No, let's move on.
Yeah, what do you think?
Go ahead. Hold on.
I'll make a motion, we approve the best possible location for Mike Anderson, 1152 West Shore Drive, map 123, lot 8. So the new structure to be located no closer than 47 feet from the high water mark, and the lot coverage to impervious to not be increased from 16.8%.
Sign, please.
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? All right, next up is Denise Peppin, 103 Thrush Road, map 127, lot 002-001, application for greatest practical extent.
Same thing, looking to tear down, rebuild, best practical location. As we sit now, existing is 54.6 from the high water. In my eyes, and when I met with Jason, it can't really go anywhere, so we're gonna put it back in the same exact spot.
New foundation, new everything, or
Yeah.
new septic?
It has a plan.
New septic on this one.
Yeah. Like I see, that's the chamber system right there that we're looking at.
Yeah. And that just got tucked in. I mean, that has a bunch of variances because it couldn't go anywhere else really.
Get under the driveway pretty much.
Yeah, which is a small parking area. It's actually a little close to the house as is, so.
You got any pictures?
Yeah, give me, I'm sorry, I'm writing, trying to get you to you guys too.
We'll try to make sure we get everything recorded from the last one before we. Too far on this one.
This one doesn't have many pictures.
Definitely looks different from the lakeside than from the driveway side, huh?
Walkout basement.
Yeah.
Is it a garage door?
Inside? Looks like it.
So is there anything we can do to, increase the, lot coverage on this thing?
To help with the lot coverage, you're saying?
Yeah, just
Bring it down?
reduce it at all. The building's gonna have the same footprint, so that's gonna be the same, correct?
Yeah, and the driveway's so small already, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Is that why you can't get moved back?
Yeah,
Well, you got a setback from the road too, 50 feet. And he's already
I mean, it's really kind of 2 cars just in the driveway right there. It's just such a small lot. That's why the lot coverage seems so
It's, yeah, it's
ugly.
.14 acres.
It's tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah, right.
So all those trees are.
Yeah, it does look like it's gonna be trees removed on this one,
I have the trees being removed on the other house, what I already went to planning board for, because this is so close to both property lines. But they're trying to keep that clump of 4 right there to the left. And,
Oh, I see, the structure we can see through the trees, so to speak, is going through the same process.
yeah, well, the one to the left, you can't see.
Oh, the one on the other side.
And all the trees to the right are, can you see how close you are to the property line, are pretty much on the neighbor's yard, so we're not touching those.
Oh, okay, so they're not even on the property.
I mean, that front corner is less than a foot off the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it says you're 58.4 from the road now.
Yep.
So you're gonna come back to the 50?
I can't, I'm 17 feet to the septic right now. I'm already have a variance for that.
You're only, so full foundations can't, well, 15 feet is your, 20 feet is your,
Is it 20 feet?
20 feet. If it's a slab, you're 15 feet. 20 feet, 8 feet for the tank, 20 feet for the field.
Oh, right, that's the number I was thinking, 8 feet from the tank. So we're currently 8 feet to the tank? I mean, not currently, but in the proposed?
They usually don't put a
Dimension for the
dimension
tank.
for the tank. A site evaluator designs the field, and then they tell you what tank they want, and then you have to make sure you maintain the distances from the tank to the structure and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the septic's remaining, it's not.
Yeah, the field goes exactly where it's designed. All the measurements are for the field when it comes to a septic design. And they can, if they start excavating and find out, oh, they hit a ledge, they can actually physically move the tank, but without having to change the plan, just, I like to document it, but they
Yeah.
can't move the field without having a new plan done.
I'm just looking at, because it's, 58.4 feet, we could, hypothetically move the structure back 8 feet.
Well, or,
Septic's in the way.
right, yes, you're saying if the septic wasn't there, correct.
So that's why I was asking how close the septic really was and if
Yes.
there was any.
Yeah, and then if you move the septic back, it puts you into cutting trees down. So that's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, if they're not replacing the septic, then,
Yeah, no, and it's 17 feet from the structure now, so there's already a variance on that, which is what you were saying, yeah.
Oh, that's right, this one's been installed already.
right, yeah, I mean, if it was a new septic, I'd be
Right,
all
right, right.
for gaining 8 feet, sure.
And Pat, this one does have the white knight in it, if you didn't see that one yet.
Yeah,
All right, so yeah, I'd like to figure out how we can reduce that, impervious coverage of the lot.
I'm glad they're keeping the trees.
Help with some erosion.
Tyler, when you did your lot coverage, did you, just do the house and the driveway? How did you?
Yeah. House 912, driveway 1020. But there's also the concrete steps and a couple sets of concrete steps, and that's probably most of it, but it could be something else. Probably a porcupine, I'm not gonna open it. Do we have any dimensions for those two sets of concrete steps? And is the one shared by the neighbor?
Yes, shared by the neighbor. Do steps go into lot coverage if you're allowed access to the water? I always thought it was told they weren't.
There is something like that in there. I'm not 100% positive to answer. Yeah. I know, because you can make erosion control steps where they're
Pervious.
pervious, not,
Yeah, but-
but they're not really, because they're still made with crushed rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not, because I make the argument that I'll put in a pervious driveway or this and that, and that's a no-go too. But-
So, we don't have any pictures of that. I mean, I can see it looks like on the right-hand side where there's a little tiny deck and there's a handrail. One of the sets of steps is right there, correct?
Yeah.
But I'm not getting a visual on the shared concrete steps. They're like over here or something. Or maybe we could,
Do they show up on the other?
You want me to see if I have a picture?
does the front of the house, does the driveway just lead right to the house, so to speak? Is there any room for foundation garden or something on that side that would,
Say that one more time, sorry.
do we have a picture of the other side of the house, Jason?
Driveway side?
Yeah. Right there, is that, am I looking at asphalt right there?
It's crushed gravel.
It is.
So you can see, if you look in the survey, especially the existing one, you can see the dotted line of showing where the gravel is, going right up to the house.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I guess you could make the argument of, putting a 6-foot buffer behind the house. Is that kind of what you were thinking?
well, I mean, I need something to reduce the
Yeah.
impervious of the lot if we don't wanna mess with the steps, we're not gonna change the size of the building. We're pretty much looking at the driveway.
I mean, is a couple percentage points down, good, it's just, any little bit you do is making it really hard on this lot, because it's so small. That's my only concern, you know what I mean?
Sure, but I mean, anything will help, because you're supposed to be at maximum 20%, you're at 32%. But we could, get down to any amount would help, right?
Oh, I agree. I just didn't know what amount was good enough
Well,
for you.
whatever's practical for the site, if we put a, 5 by 12 foot, 6 by 12 foot garden kind of with, something like how, between the drive and the house, like a foundation.
I'm willing to go down to 30%, I guess. Drop a couple percentage points.
We could reconfigure the building, make it taller and slightly smaller. The footprint slightly smaller, but the building.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is that a possibility, or,
Possibility, but
I mean, you're not interested in it, but,
could be. I don't want to give up anything that I'm allowed to do, I guess. That's all.
hard with these you've got so many non-conforming aspects of the property. And that's to address one of them.
Yeah, like I said, I'd definitely be willing to go from 32 to 30%, which is, I know it's a small number, but it's helping.
The same.
That would be, how much
Yes.
would that be?
Exactly the
It's
same.
exactly the same.
1830,
It's not unreasonable to just.
30% of 6099, right?
This is our.
So about 100 square feet is what you're saying, 1830?
Don't even-
102?
Obviously not.
Can't because of the setback, it's a non-conforming lot.
Well, that would be about the size of a,
Septic.
Right.
No one can go
that
anywhere.
would be reasonable.
I mean, even if you revegetated everything from this corner here,
And build something new.
you just
Well-
turn that into
Yeah,
vegetation.
Yeah, rain garden, anything, but, yeah.
Anything other than this, you know, crushed gravel.
yeah.
The one next door.
Yeah, it'll help. It's, I mean, with the size of this lot, it's really hard to get that number down.
Right.
And I'm not trying to advocate for anything here, I'm just looking at it in the
Oh, I
realistic
know, because
aspect
of
right now.
the type of space.
Yeah.
Like it won't be, it won't be widened,
No,
you know what I mean? In terms of lot.
way,
Does 30% work?
something.
What do you think?
Get back 102 square feet at 30%.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
Can I- Can we look at the, I mean, what's the can I get a better picture of the configuration of the driveway?
No, I can't.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I don't have it
It's, I mean,
on
Because the
this.
driveway seems to take up the majority of,
I know, but it's, it
the
looks it,
septic's-
but it's not a big driveway.
It-
Time you have the property line and this and
It's
that.
on the survey somewhat, you can see it, and it goes right over the septic tanks,
yeah.
but it doesn't really, I don't have any pictures of the driveway.
Just show the driveway comes in from the neighbor's lot.
They have a shared driveway, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So what is it like in this area
All gravel.
between the road and the driveway?
It
All
looks like a,
trees, vegetation, everything. Honestly,
That's fully vegetated right there?
yeah.
Right, but we can't, I think the point of the lot that we're trying to see, there's no picture of that, right?
No, not behind the camp going to Thrush Road.
Gravel drive.
I was just wondering.
What about on the camp next to it? Can you get a picture
Yeah,
from
I'm
it?
trying
That?
to figure this out, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you have this in your email, by the way.
This is wooded.
This is a pretty good picture.
Nothing.
looks like there's a stone wall right here.
Well, it's like a big mound, fully vegetated,
Yeah.
and trees and everything.
Is that on the other property?
All right here.
Yeah,
All again.
and up in here too.
On the front of it?
Like the other side, I think, Jason, if you get.
Yeah, this is.
I can't just make a picture up.
Yeah, it's weird because the driveway comes in from the neighbor's lot.
Yeah, because this is like this much fill.
You don't, so you don't have it.
No, I don't, I've already said that.
Yeah, so that's really interesting because the driveway, considering how much of the square footage of the lot that it takes up, because that's where that majority of that 32% comes from.
Right.
You know, and so it says 32%, but
It's, to be honest, it's a very vegetated lot for
Yeah.
how small it is compared to a lot on the lake, to
Right.
be honest.
No,
Look at that picture, yeah.
Driveway.
yeah, no, I mean, that's a, now
Oh, it is
I
too.
can see where the angle here.
Did you guys want to see that?
Yeah, zoom in a little bit with it.
It just gets kind of blurry.
John, Chris, did you guys want to see that or no?
Yeah, can I see it again, please? I think.
I'll just go.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we could just go down the neighbor's lot.
Okay.
6099. Yeah, the driveway itself takes up about 17% of the lot coverage, like the driveway all by itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything that's remaining on the house itself.
That's the lot right there you have highlighted?
No, that's the other one, excuse me. I was trying to get pictures, see if
Grass
it,
in the driveway.
See how
The house,
vegetated it is
like
there.
the house or anything around the house is the problem, it's the driveway.
Yeah.
In my, like, from what I'm looking at, the house is only 15%,
Yeah, the house, yeah,
like, the house
that's
is,
weird.
you know, so.
what I didn't like was, this is one that you just came in last time, Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Interesting thing.
We're gonna figure out how to not have this going on here, right?
Erosion. There's a ton of it there.
Is that the house next to it?
That's my goal on every project. Minimize and stop erosion. At least on square,
Yeah.
just kidding.
This is the neighbor's lot that has.
That's the neighbor's,
That
that's,
has their driveway on it.
This one
yeah.
easy.
But I don't have a picture of the backside.
Side that we need.
Right.
Jason can't
Right.
make a picture
It's
of
not
it.
screwed up, but you can't
Is this the house right next to
address
it?
that part of
This
it.
was, he came in last.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah.
All right, well,
So,
Is dropping it that 2%
the other lot,
good
right?
enough?
So this is majority. But this,
Sharing.
that's right. But this is
might be
his
able to
lot,
do
right?
4%, I don't know.
So I don't think this is, I think this number is dramatically.
Might be able to do one, though.
On his lot?
I think the 2% is good,
Yeah.
my personal
Is
opinion.
that big? It's not.
I think that's what most of the board is thinking.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even totally get it, just when we're talking about like breakdown of maps and lot coverage and everything. Hey Tyler, did this, the driveway square, I'm just stuck on the driveway square footage, is that the total from here all the way in?
No, but I didn't have this exact line, so.
Did you just measure in here?
Yeah, that's all I'm trying.
That is you just, okay, I wasn't sure if you measured all the way back up here also.
And then for this one, I did that.
Okay, right.
Number of trees to be removed on this one?
Hoping none.
I'm curious what these shared concrete stuff.
If you want. I'm good with getting the 2%, but if you wanna go low.
You just wanna see what you could remove and revegetate?
Well, it's hard just, the pictures don't really do justice to the lot. And there's no picture of the shared concrete steps, which aren't calculated in part of the impervious. You know, that kind of thing. There's a couple bits missing, but I don't know. I think, we probably have enough information to proceed with the, seems like most of the board's in favor of the 2% reduction in lot coverage. Alright, so I'll make a motion, we accept the application for greatest practical extent for Pepin 103 Thrush Road, map 127, lot 002 and 001, 2 lots?
No, I don't know.
002-001.
Subdivision. It's chipped, it was chipped off something.
That the structure be relocated no closer than 54.5 feet from the high water mark of Square Pond. And that the impervious surface of the site, new site be no greater than 30%.
And we'll pin these foundations, Tyler, both of them?
Certified plot plan.
Hold on, we got a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Yes, sir.
We always do the weirder ones.
on there.
Thank you. Oh, was that the first one?
I gotta ask this question, so the select board is trying to set dates for, they're possibly thinking about changing the town meeting date, instead of having it in June, maybe possibly doing it in March, April, or even May, or something like that. So they're trying to move things forward. So their question to me is, how many articles are we planning, and how much time do you feel that you need for these? I told them that we didn't have a lot, and that there's nothing that's extensive like the ones that we did the last few years, so, these ones that we're dealing with should just be minor changes, and shouldn't take too long, we just gotta get some verbiage together. And have discussions on them,
That guy's well is contaminated.
Is it?
yeah. And the guys, but,
With what?
so, yes, it's contaminated, but there's no way to know how it got contaminated. They won't tell you. He went from 1, whatever it is, so the E. coli went from 1 to 2. And Nelson Analyticals won't, they don't tell you what it is, it just tells you, you have
This is with the
the pet burial.
The
yeah.
burial on.
So
the property.
he's in the process of getting a filtration system and all that other stuff.
Okay, so we should mark a spot for that, right? In case we come up with verbiage, we might as well put a marker there, even if we don't get it 100% together this year, we might as well, put a place marker so we have that for that one.
And a good neighbor standings, tell us the good neighbor policy.
Somewhere in the good neighbor policy thing? Okay.
I don't know where else to
Yeah,
put it.
I would think it would be something that kind of, specifically in the shoreline zone too, maybe that, talks about the shoreline zoning and then
Yeah.
wells within the vicinity. Yeah, so one for that.
Is anything being done for that?
No, I'm not touching it. It's not
There's
mine.
no-
The state won't even touch
Jim
it.
Driscoll's
Right.
gotta dig it up,
Yeah.
right?
The state only has, the state doesn't enforce it either, it's only a guideline. They
You're talking
deal
about the
with,
guy
they deal with,
who's talking about
agricultural.
the woman who buried her dog
Yeah.
a while back?
Pretty much what he
Yeah, okay.
I have
We
no
need to
idea
get
what
something.
But can,
oh,
I
someone
think I-
buried their dog not far from someone's well.
within like
And
7 feet,
No, it was like
was it?
40 feet or something like that.
Yeah, it was further away.
It was a lot further
Should.
away.
And there
Yeah,
was,
but
there
can
was,
you enforce it?
And the
That's
biggest,
thing, if we
the
put it
biggest
in.
thing is harm has to be shown.
Then what's the
So
point?
if you
It's a
were
waste of
to,
time.
if you were to
One
bring,
of the rental things.
if you were to bring suit, harm has to be done to him.
They burn down, then there's.
It's a standard that you want people to,
you want them to conform to that.
conform to that, yeah.
No, it doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah, so something for, we'll placeholder for that.
Yep.
And I don't know if anybody's,
Do you wanna do your login? line?
Well, I don't want anything to do
Everybody
with,
thought
so
that.
timber harvesting was already struck from the whole ordinance. I don't want to touch that.
well, it would just go in
But,
part of the ordinance
so,
that talks about timber harvesting.
You want somebody who's gonna have their land harvested to call me to let them know?
They don't necessarily.
I only require shoreline
It
zone.
wouldn't have to be you.
You can call the state and find out already right now. The permits go
But how
through,
would I know to call the state?
I don't know, but I don't deal with timber, I don't even permit them. They just do the due diligence for saying, hey, we're gonna be logging this, and they send me a notification letter, that's it. There's no permitting, there's nothing through the town. So,
I know, just, they fill out the intent to harvest form, submit it to the state, but it takes the state a long time to notify the town. I just would like something in the ordinance that they notify the town at the same time they notify the state. It doesn't seem like.
yeah, but how many people actually know the ordinance? So then what, I put somebody in violation because they didn't notify me?
Well, I'm not sure they'd even have to notify you, because I think it's a big issue with the roads. Here we are, hemming and hawing about all these gravel trucks and people coming in and out of a self-storage unit and even a solar facility where there's one person.
Logging has a whole different set of standards than any other industry. You can start cutting it, what is it, like 6 o'clock in the morning?
Earlier than that.
Yeah, you don't even have to abide by, so we're putting
So
it,
basically Jason's against it, but I think the board should discuss it because Jason's not really on the board.
right, I'm not on the board, I'm just saying that it was already taken out of the, it was,
You're not interested in it.
no, I'm not interested in it, but you
No,
guys can
I
look
got
into it.
Right.
But I'm just telling you, it's already been taken out of the ordinance once.
Well, I was gonna point out to you in the ordinance, under timber harvesting, where it could go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right back where it was.
Well, no, it was never in there that they notified.
Yeah.
But you had to get a
Always
permit,
been a
you had to get a
problem.
permit through the town for timber harvesting before, right?
I think timber harvesting start at 5 AM.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I think it's 5.
I hear them when I'm out in the woods hunting. And I'm
Yeah, I
there,
feel like
I'm there when
it's a
there's no
road
light.
commissioner issue. It's
Right, I
just-
think it is 5. Don't quote me on it, but I think it is.
There's one right on
Because the
Hopper
ordinance
Road
starts, you
that-
can't
that
start
coming
a
down
noise
the hill like
machine
this, they
till
couldn't
like
even
7.
stop. It's gonna be snowing, so.
I think it is, so I think it is 5.
I'm not too sure, I know it's early. Just like, they can go right into wetlands, they can go up
And the
to,
mud on the roads, and if we were just informed, then people would know. There could be overloaded truck coming onto the road there, you know, that kind of thing too, I don't know. But anyway, I guess it's still food for thought with the board, because, right now, we just have, Jason and I are having a discussion, but we need to get the rest of the input.
Is there an old, obviously I wasn't on the board until recently. Is
I
there
can
an old,
pull
is
up
there an
the
old
old-
version that I
yeah,
can
I
like
can
look to see what the hell it
definitely, I
looks
can
like?
definitely hand you guys out.
Expensive.
Old timber
It was
harvesting.
a
Yeah, but it
full-time
didn't have
job
anything
for
to,
the code
it was
enforcement.
Yeah.
nothing to do with what I'm
Right,
talking about.
that was, yeah, I mean, it was a reflection of it's regulated by the state, and so any regulation we had in the ordinance, we took out. This is merely a notification
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's on page 75, 5.19 timber harvesting, it just says, all commercial timber harvesting shall be in accordance with the state of Maine timber harvesting regulations.
Wait, what was in there, what was in the ordinance before?
Well, we had
What-
about
is
20.
what Andrew's asking.
There was
There's a lot of
a
stuff.
huge stuff that we had specific methods for in the resource protection areas, so that, you know, like,
In fact, the state made us take it out.
you know, like not driving in there, the skidders would use a cable skidder in sensitive areas and things like that.
Comes up as a-
And that was all removed. And resultantly now in the town, the resource can be harvested.
Yeah, up to a certain percentage. I know that they
No,
can,
because the town's resource protection is not identified by the state to any degree, so there's no, it can be completely,
I thought the resource protection overlay came from the state.
there's two resource protections. One comes from the state, includes things like floodplains,
No.
and wetlands adjacent to 10 acres or greater wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
But the wetlands that are from 2 to 10 acres that the town has as their own personal resource protection, there's no regulation on timber harvesting in those areas whatsoever anymore. But that's not what I'm just really, I just wanted to, I don't know. So that's where we're at. It would just be a notification to the town that this was about to happen. And then the third thing was the waiver request. If, you know, if we need some actual concrete verbiage in the ordinance that leads us in those directions. Some of my questions were, like in the site plan review, do they need a written waiver request for each one of those subheadings that they're wishing to not conform to?
Whatever you put in site plan, you'll mimic it and put it right in the conditional use section too, though, right? Because you still ask for waivers and conditional uses.
Sure,
Right.
yeah.
But you don't want them just looking through the conditional use and saying, not seeing that what the standards for waiver requests. You know, because, because if you look at the site plan and conditional use have different, obviously different sections.
Yeah, the site plan review I just find more problematic because it has very specific stipulations that we would find ourselves waiving more often than you would like. We just, I'm concerned in the future, people coming in with just a list of waivers and us having no real means to limit the number we grant and
Why? You can just say no to the waiver request.
it's true, but
But what's the criteria that we base our decision on? That's what the big thing is. That's what I was struggling with, and when I went through the book and tried to find something somewhere. We went to a workshop on the 4/28/22. Ordinance refers to the whole book, is what he was saying, and I think what he meant is that if it's in the book, you can use it. doesn't have to be under that section. It's still part of the ordinance. That was a revelation to me.
And I was wondering if the board wanted to consult with third party to discuss waivers.
That'd be worthwhile, that county guy,
Yeah.
Southern Maine
He
Regional.
was really good.
he is good.
Come in and just talk to us for half an hour and entertain some of our questions like, you know, do they need to just stop the process, get a written waiver request and come back for us to actually?
Do you want to do a workshop?
Yeah, but it could be just the half an hour at a normal meeting.
I gotta call him and see when's his availability.
Yeah,
And if he isn't available, do you want me to just see if North Star is available or of some sort, or just try to get Lee J? Lee J was the person that we had last time.
Yeah, I'd really like to see him.
yeah, because I don't know, I mean, they're both knowledgeable, but I feel like Lee J might say, oh, this town has verbiage for waivers and this town doesn't, and
Yeah, I'll reach out and see, what his position is on that, and if he's willing to do it.
yeah. Okay, so that's 3, so I don't know, I'd say maybe 3, we want to have 3 or 4 placeholders.
Let's keep it 4th, we can always let it go.
I know, because especially with the timetables changing like that, that's gonna kind of,
Something might come up that we want to
if we
do.
tell them 3 now, we'll never get 4 later.
They say why they're changing the, is it
No, I
gonna,
don't-
they changing the whole fiscal year and everything?
No, I don't know really what their intention was. It wasn't really,
Attendance probably, everybody's.
Doesn't the town have to?
Well, I don't know,
vote on
because-
Town meeting date?
you still have residents that might be flying south for the winters, and if they're doing it in March, you might not have somebody,
Right.
you know, so I honestly, I don't
That's why we
know.
moved it to June.
I didn't ask why they were moving it, I just said I'll talk to the board.
Yeah, yeah.
And see what where they're gonna go with this and how many of the changes. All I said was that there's nothing major on the horizon that the board has been working on, that's gonna take a lot of time and back and forth with other committees, other third-party people,
Right.
things like that, you know, I think.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it light this year.
Yeah, we did a lot of heavy lifting last year, so I think,
I think, so that paperwork that I brought in, that I had Jason photocopy, as far as determining a suitable decommissioning value, I think that needs to be addressed.
so the board has the ability to, it's right in our solar ordinance, if we're not comfortable with the number, the applicant is subject to, we can hire another third party to examine it, and it's at their expense, you know, I honestly don't know, and that's a question, I need to find out, and I think I was talking about with North Star, because that's who I've been dealing with for this whole project. Have they done this for another town, and who have they used, if they have done it, who have they used to get this value? So,
You know, because from what I gathered from what she was saying, they're just kind of kicking the can down the road as well. The last guy did it this way, you know, it was so many megawatts and this was what they came up with a number. So we just copied it off of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
You know.
why we asked for the detail.
Right,
How did
exactly.
they come up with 20?
yeah, with the H Road one it was a dollar amount per megawatt or whatever it was, and that's how they came to that.
Sounds
They
like
didn't,
That's what they did.
yeah, they didn't do a breakdown on theirs whatsoever.
And I think that there does need to be a breakdown.
It's only more than what we got.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Solar projects are gonna continue to increase too.
Oh, absolutely.
Both in commercial and residential use, so
That's why.
it's not a bad idea to.
I'm on the board with the soil testing.
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I'm all for that.
It's not expensive or hard to do.
No, it's not.
We shouldn't talk about that project.
True. Okay, so we've got, so tell
In
us,
general,
selectmen
solar
we've got
fields
4
should-
items
Sure.
in that general, I mean,
Yeah.
And we can clean these up by,
See.
if we see
Why not
3 now, we're
5?
gonna have 3. You know, and we can scrap one of them and throw another one in, but it still limits us.
Yeah, so just for my edification, so forestry, the solar breakdown, what was the other one?
So we'll really we'll crunch these on the 7th.
Waiver.
And then the
request, that's right.
following one, and then I'll just, right now on my agenda, I have greatest practical extent and solar. And I'll just close the agenda, and then we can work on these after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, might as
He's
well.
got that.
Because, yeah, I'll just,
It sounds like the timeline's moving to the left, probably pretty steeply.
I
yeah.
have solar breakdown, yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna take you guys a long time to come up with the verbiage for some of these things.
What about
I don't-
the-
I
That's
really
a
don't.
sentence, what Gavin talked about. If we want to
The
address.
animal.
And even the animal ones, the state already has guidelines, and you just can follow what the distance is for these, you know. That guy's provided us with all those things, and, you know, it's simple as saying you can't bury an animal within 100 feet of a natural water body, or 100 feet of, source of public water or private well.
Yeah, the only tricky thing, is we gotta plug these things into the land use chart. That
Yeah.
takes some time sometimes.
Yeah.
Differentiating which zones are applicable and, you know, so.
What was the admin one that we had to do? It was
Oh, it's the
administrative.
one for public hearings. It was,
So that's 5.
What's the public?
That was on the select board side though, I believe.
Huh?
They need, not public hearings, but sidewalks, they need 10 days notification.
it was in the subdivision. We didn't clear it out of that.
That's housekeeping, though, I'm pretty sure that can just be done.
In the subdivision regulations, we can change those with just a public hearing. We don't have to do.
Yeah, because it's not with our ordinance, it's just a regulation, it's a guideline to
Yeah,
follow.
exactly. But that is a good thing to do. We do need to go through the subdivision regulations and look at them as a board. It's not something that this board has ever done, and there were changes to be done 5 years ago when we were dealing with major subdivisions at that time, so. It's worth looking at, but it's not necessarily town meeting that we need to, so. Maybe we should ask for 5 spots. Keep it 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think we should.
It's 5. You
Yeah.
could lose.
It's
Just in case.
easy to back off and get an extra one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like there might be something still coming down that we're not thinking of right now, because it's only November.
All right, so Chris, you want me to close the agenda for the next meeting at just what I have right now, which is Acton Solar and one greatest practical extent that,
Yeah, that you bumped from tonight.
huh?
Is that the one you pushed?
Yeah, because, well, she just didn't get the information into me in time.
Push it, she pushed it. and it
No, she thought she was coming in tonight, and I said, no, you're not.
Is there something that we wouldn't be addressing? Because that wouldn't take too much time to do that.
What's this?
If you're closing the agenda,
It'd just be those, I'm just gonna do it for those two, and then we can work on these after.
Work on this stuff.
Work on this, so we can really get a jump on it, and then, I mean, because what we have right now isn't gonna take long, so if we can be done, you know, sooner than later, the better.
Yeah, just close it.
Can you see if the
after that.
county guy can be there?
I'm gonna contact, Lee J. I'll reach out to him tomorrow and see if, what he, yeah, see what's going on. I know it is a tough time of year with holidays and stuff like that, but I'll reach out to him tomorrow about a workshop and, see if I can get him here maybe on the 7th for a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Did you say you got, the burying pets thing? I remember when that was brought up initially, but then was there a follow-up? Because I might have missed that.
Oh, I just heard that.
No, he gave
was
me, I have all the
monitoring as
paperwork
well.
downstairs. He came in my
I
office.
missed that meeting, he said, he did come in.
Yeah, he did. I remember when he came in
Oh,
and
okay.
he went, and he.
Okay, I
he
thought you
was-
were talking about that.
He was talking about, I just wasn't sure if I missed something else.
No. He just, he had his well tested again and now it just came back as contaminated.
So it came
But-
from, went from 1
And
to 2?
he even said it just went from I don't know how they do their levels, but E. coli, it had 1, which is the standard that you don't exceed.
Yeah.
It's at 2. So I don't know.
So the biggest thing, so I remember, because I did a little bit of a little bit of research on everything that he explained. It's pretty liberal with respect to the laws that govern burying pets.
Yeah, it's agricultural is completely different.
Yeah, it's
Pets is there's nothing. That's why the state hasn't intervened.
Yeah, and I think that's why she's like,
And so
legally, she's fine.
she's fine.
She's fine.
The, and when even the guy whose water is contaminated said that they can't guarantee it's from the pet, I mean, they're obviously just assuming that now it's decomposing, that's why it's in his thing. You know, because E. coli is found in intestine, you know, stuff like that, it's not
There
something
has
that
to be a
just.
deep dive into like,
Yeah.
like an investigation basically has to.
Right, and the water company,
To like one for one, like, yep, it's from this buried animal that this E. coli test came back to, like, that would have to happen for any reason.
so it's a dug well, I mean, you've heard stories of animals, you know, rats, mice, they fall in it, they die.
Yeah.
So to say that it's the dog, it very possibly it is, but you can't rule out all factors.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting too, all the discussion about euthanizing animals and how those
Well, yeah,
those
euthanize.
chemicals
The
that are,
chemicals that are, yeah.
can get into the groundwater.
No, absolutely. I think it's definitely worthy of our attention and like Tim putting something in, but I'm just, for that particular guy's situation, I think he's not.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is
euthanize.
Time they gonna be ready?
Piece anyway.
Totally. I think it's a good issue to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't really want people burying their dead animals right next to the water either, but.
Yeah, it should be distance from water body.
Yeah. Based in some kind of fact, I'd want to say some numbers based on like what the
Yeah.
probabilities are of leaching.
Well, that would really help us to have numbers, because then when we do a public hearing for this thing, the public comes up and is concerned about it, and say, well, this is our scientific. Were they supposed to
designate
an
alternate?
This
is not what we feel like
Gavin,
it
did
should be.
you read that when they euthanized it, that chemical over?
Probably should have designated an alternate, yep. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah,
That's what I read in the.
You guys didn't,
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
even for the greatest possible extents?
Yeah, so, no, it gets worse as it
It wasn't
goes,
designated.
decomposes.
Yeah, had to.
No, that
read
was
that with the-
our chairman's
Or
failure.
50 student.
yeah.
I know, I wasn't even paying attention myself either.
I noticed it earlier, but here's the situation.
Should've,
Hey, did you have a signed authorization from the two owners for these two greatest practical extents?
I think they're downstairs in the folder.
Okay, they need to be in the folder.
okay. Yeah, he does usually provide them, but,
And we really should see a deed too, but.
the what?
I'm sure you check that. A
Oh, the
deed.
deed, yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Yay, I second.
All in favor? Thank you.